fight that would mean something for Canelo.
Bivol is probably the most dangerous opponent out there for Canelo.
Yo, welcome to One Round with Punch Therapy. Today we're going to break down one round of the Canelo-Bivol fight. Alright, let's get into it. We are watching the highlights today of the Canelo-Bivol round. And we're only watching round one. We're going to see what we can find. So right away, they talk about, Sergio Mora says, it's how is Canelo going to get past that shotgun jab of Bivol? And he does have a shotgun jab. See, what you'll notice too is both these guys have a great high guard. Let me see it right there. You can see that they both have a great wide stance. Both like to use that high guard. I call it the knucklehead position because you kind of have the knuckles of your thumbs up here. It's just kind of how I remember it and how my guys remember it. Some people call it just the high guard or put up the horns, right? So both using the high guard, which is very interesting for this fight. So let's get into it a bit more. See, right away you can see Bivol touch up Canelo's guard. Touch, right? And that's kind of disrupting him. And we all know that Canelo likes to counter off that high guard, right? He'll let you touch it a little bit and then he'll shoot and explode, okay? So Bivol's going to have to watch out for that. And they're both just kind of posturing in the middle of the ring. There's a big shot to Canelo. Let's take a look at that again. Ooh. See, is this one of those punches? Let's look at this. Because if you've watched the fight, and I'm sure you guys have watched it if you're a boxing fan, we know that Canelo likes to throw arm punches. I think he did that against one of the UK guys, right? He kept targeting his arm, hitting the arm, and after it was like a big contusion, he couldn't throw it as much. So let's slow it down and let's see if that's what he does it here. So he touches him up with the jab, which is good. It makes him keep his hands still, right? And you can see that it pushes him back to that back foot a little bit right here, right? Gets him off balance slightly. And then he throws it, and yes, he does go for that arm, kind of like that bicep area. And Bivol is just patient, right? He's just taking it, measured. See how he fixes his feet right there? This is another good point to point out. And again, I'm making these one rounds to sweat the details, right? There's something to learn in every second of every minute of every round, in every fight. I don't care which fight you're watching or what round it is. There's something to learn. Okay, so Canelo, right? He kind of throws that good stiff jab, which pushes him back, knocks him off balance. You can see his feet are kind of together. He's leaning really far back, which gives him no choice but to take a step back. And you see his feet is messed up. He's broken his stance, technically. And then he completely fixes his feet in a flash, right? Let's rewind that again. He gets knocked off balance. Boom, fixes his feet back in his perfect fighting stance. Ready to punch, ready to defend, okay? And this is why we watch the best fighters and watch what they really do in the ring, right? We're not even looking to see what they do in training. I want to see what he does under the lights on fight night on the biggest stage. That's what I want to see what he does. And then we want to learn from that. We want to take that and add that to our own game. Right? He's up on his toes, gets pushed back off balance, completely switches into a southpaw stance, okay? Boom! Takes that little scissor step, that little step back in his stance, ready to fight. Back to touching, backing Canelo up. And Canelo tries the exact same combo right there. Ooh, okay. So that's something good to notice here is watch this, guys. So Canelo comes out, throws that almost the exact same combo when he tried to hit his bicep, okay? But what you'll notice here is that Bivol takes a step back. He does his job. He's not really there to be hit. Canelo kind of just aborts the punch. And that's a good thing to do. If you know your opponent's not going to be there or he's going to evade or you're just out of range, right? Abort the punch. Don't really throw it through. Don't waste your energy, guys. Okay, so we threw that same jab, same big right hook, right overhand. One was to the bicep, one was to the head, both upper body, okay? So watch what he does next. Boom, and he drops and goes to the body, okay? Obviously, he didn't land any of these combos really, okay? But what that does is it sets things up for later, okay? So, through one to the head, one to the bicep, moving around. Next one is to the body. Now, Bivol's got to be, a little wary, a little cautious. Where is he going? Instead of just like, oh, he's going at my head only, or he's going at my body only. Back again, touching that jab. And I can't stress this enough, guys. Okay, if a guy is going to live in that high guard position, okay, You have to touch and control the guard. If you're touching and controlling the guard, there's a good chance he's not hitting you. It's going to break up his rhythm, okay? Especially if he wants to counter you. You got to touch it. If you give him space, he'll walk you down with that high guard like Canelo does, and he'll take it to the body, and he'll probably get the finish. You have to touch him. You have to keep him away, okay? You have to fill that space, control that distance right here between you and your opponent. Right? Control that distance, right? Even Canelo made him take a slight step back. Ooh, and there's that body shot again, right? Didn't land, but look at Canelo trying to set it up. And I know, I've watched this fight a bunch of times. I know Canelo didn't win, okay, guys? But there is still something to learn from him. He's not just a fighter who, doesn't have any skill anymore, okay, just because he lost. And that's another thing I think they should get rid of in boxing is the undefeated record, the perfect record thing. I think that's one thing that MMA has over boxing is they don't really care about your record. If you're good, you're entertaining, they want to see you fight. Right? He throws that exact same body punch again, that same setup. Let's slow it down. Right? He starts it with the jab. Boom. Right? Makes him defend. Makes him kind of step back and figure it out. And then he throws to the body. But you can see Bivol's seen that coming. Right? He's seen it right about there. You can see Canelo opening up. Right? Kind of stuffs him a little bit with a touch. Right? Boom. Out of range for that body. Not there to be hit. Okay? You have to make your opponent earn the right to hit you. Okay? You got to get past your jab. He's got to get past your boxing. Okay? This is not fighting. It's boxing. Touch. Touch that jab. Control that guard. Beautiful. And again, we're looking for some interesting moments, right? They might be small, but it's always something we could learn from. There we go. Okay. And we're kind of making this a Bivol heavy film study, which is okay, right? Canelo has a lot of stuff on him. So Bivol moves straight back, and then he turns and angles him. Okay, let's look at that again. Right, so he's just touching, being patient. Canelo starts attacking, right? Bivol goes straight back, which they tell you not to do. But Bivol's had over like 500 amateur fights at a high level. He's a very technical fighter. I think he knows what he's doing, okay? So it doesn't mean you can't go straight back. But no, if you only go straight back, your opponent can eventually catch up to you because he knows where it is, and you're going to hit the ropes, okay? So Bivol goes straight back here, right? He's going straight back. You can see he's breaking his stance. Look at his feet are together. Right? He moves slightly to the right, gets Canelo to commit, and then he pivots out and rotates back to his left and keep moving, getting off the ropes. And then instantly, look what he does as soon as he escapes. He starts touching him up with that jab. Touch, touch. Keep Canelo busy, and then move. Touch him again. See? Beautiful control, guys. Beautiful control. And this is the boring stuff that happens. Touch and control. Look at Canelo's feet. He's off balance. He has no choice but to go that way. And he kind of uses that touch to move himself. Again, this is very fundamental. Some might think this is boring, but not us, right? We're high-level thinkers. We want to take what the best do and add that to our own training. Right, now Canelo's a little cautious. Doesn't want to waste energy attacking forward, especially if Bivol's going to control him or be able to spin out and circle out. Man, just touching, controlling. Canelo goes to the body there, and then he switches it up to the head. That was beautiful. Let's look at that. Let's see. Canelo working from the high guard. Goes to the body with that one, and then back up top. Okay, let's slow it down again. Let's give Canelo a little love here, right? So when you throw a jab, right, I call it a flash jab. It's just a quick jab, right? It could be powerful, but it's meant to distract you. It's meant for you to defend this, okay? And then you come around with something else, whether it's here, okay? You got to get them to commit to this. You got to threaten them with this, and that's like cover fire, with some, war. Okay, so he comes, boom, throws that body shot. Okay, and that's possible because of that jab. Boom. Body shot doesn't really land, hits his elbow. Okay, but what it allows him to do is throw this next one, right? He thinks maybe it's another body shot. Boom, back up to the head. Doesn't really land, but what it does is it splits his guard up. You could see Dimitri's guard is pulled down. If Canelo was able to keep attacking, you know, there's an opening here, okay? Boom. All right, guys, that's it. That's all. I'll see you in the next round.